The final bullet point of this recording. So, before I start, I'm tired, guys. All this emotional processing, and this is my way of interpreting this, why this book fell apart. This is the end of me processing the fragments of my little fragments of my past, right? Because I already had done the high majority, and now it's just like I've said everything I need to say. There's no inspiration to keep going. I'm not like down and out. I could make more recordings, but it's be more and more the same. I think the best bet now is for me to just I was going out after life anyway, but I learned along the way. I was always going out after life in my 20s too. And here's the thing. Good coffee, South Hills, Queensgate Mall, Lower Hutt, Wellington. $8.30 for a large cup. So let me get to the this is just when I get income that's like doubling out. As you have a person there and I hold that for like 6 months, then I do a recording. Not to brag, but it's to say, hey look, it's my luck, me to do it. For all those who relate, it's to bring closure. And until I get to these things, I'll just be going over and over and over the same things. And the only things left to do is there's 2 albums, Pathway to Success. Once all those things happen, the double and then hold on to triple for 6 months. Oh no, triple will be in the completion album. And then romantic relationship with the woman that the type of woman I always wanted, personality wise, obviously at different stages in my life I always thought that there'd be a different ethnicity, maybe Maori, maybe European, maybe black, so I've come to the conclusion a long time ago, but it was always that fragment thing, but it's a personality thing. And obviously if they make the most of what they have physically, it might not be like stars in your eyes or anything, but over time, the personality, you have a conversation with someone, 3 or 4 conversations, at the end of that, by then, the only thing that really sticks out is their personality, unless they let themselves go physically, like, they just don't put any effort at all. But, if they make the most of what they have and they got a good personality, So, yeah, updates only after this. 5 points, 4 points, 2 points, 1 point. 3 points. 5 points for, 32 5 points, and that was the 32 bullet points when I was writing it, and they dig it out of me. Proofreading was 4 points because it was re-fermenting it, like making it concrete in my mind. Even though 6 of these, I look back through my life and it's like 6 chapters, maybe this 8 chapters was how I've always been that way. But putting it in a book is something else. I'm really tired, guys. And 3 points is recording it like this, giving it to you guys. 2 points was when I first did the first upload because I let people know what was coming. And the 1 point when I re-uploaded the same short because it was a reminder of what's coming. So I've done all 32 of the 5 pointers, 4 pointers, 2 pointers, and 1 pointers. And out of the 32 3-pointers, I've done 31. This is the 32nd. Let's go. Chapter 8, Bullet Point 4. Getting your needs met is the best way to heal. Because of my talking, you can tell I'm tired. But that's from all the emotional stuff. Probably be 2 parts. Getting your needs met is the best way to heal. There is nothing like being unemployed, single, and not having a much social life to destroy one's mental health. After this recording, I'm going to go to the library because I scored a new job, but they said I had to do all this training and then they were going to train me up and things like that. So things are heading in the right direction. There's nothing like being unemployed, single, not having much of a social life to destroy one's mental health. Nothing like the destruction of one's mental health to cause stress and overwhelm, and just a living hell. But also, there's nothing like being unemployed, single, and not having much of a social life to cause mass reflection on one's life. And that's a good thing. You know, how much time's gone? We live in this world, so if you want to get ahead in life, you have to play by its rules. But play the rules in a way that doesn't compromise your moral values. The world isn't fair. The world isn't fair, they say. They say, God's people are suffering. The innocents. Well, it's one thing being innocent, and it's another thing being gullible. It's one thing being wise, and it's another thing being deceptive. Okay, what I actually wrote is a bit different. It says, it's one thing being innocent, and it's another thing entirely being wise. But I'm saying, it's one thing, I'm now saying, because I wrote this months ago, it's one thing being innocent, and it's another thing being gullible. And it's one thing being wise, and it's another thing being deceptive. 2 minutes left. It's one thing being wise, but it's another thing being intelligent in an IQ sense, or an EQ sense. And being intelligent and wise in an IQ sense, and or EQ sense, is different from love, compassion, and empathy. But all of these traits mixed together alongside a good healthy dose of strength, stability, self-control, and discipline, and having a when, where, why, and how that motivates you in life are all the ingredients you need to have an abundant, flourishing, generous, helpful, joyful, loving, and impactful life. It's good. We live in this world, so we must play by the rules, by their rules, this world's rules, in order to get ahead in life, in order to win. But we must not compromise our moral values. You know, this whole narcissist thing, I'm not saying that narcissists are nice people or good moral people. I am saying that a lot of these people mistake narcissists with either autistic or ADHD people or some other form of neurodivergence, and that just comes down to a lack of understanding. A lot of the time they are just traumatized neurodivergents that never got their needs met. That's the vulnerable ones. But then a lot of the time, most of the time, majority of the time, we are not actually narcissists, but the emotional instability that comes from constant comparison, which is a natural human instinct, can cause so much emotional turmoil as a result of living in a world without our needs in mind.